Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Abby and today we're talking about fermented chicken food. This is something I've been wanting to do for probably a year at this point, and I just kind of kept putting it off. I felt like it was going to be really complicated and just something I didn't want to add to our routine. But about 2 weeks ago, I just decided to go for it, and it has been really, really great so far. So I highly encourage you to do it. Very, very simple, just an easy thing that we have added to our routine. So the benefits of fermenting your food. It makes the nutrients in the food a little more digestible for the birds. Hi. It makes the nutrients in the food a little bit more digestible so the birds can just digest it easier and like more fully use all of the nutrients in their food. It also adds a lot of beneficial probiotics to the food. That is obviously good. They're very distracting. Hi, girls. That is obviously probiotics are really good for their gut. It's really good for their immune system. So that is a benefit to fermenting the food. My main reason I wanted to try fermenting food was the cost savings. So we have 9 birds, and each chicken eats about a cup of layer pellets a day. So 9 birds, about 9 cups a day. When you ferment the chicken food, you can actually cut that amount in half. So our 9 birds would only be eating about 4.5 cups of layer pellets per day, which over the course of a year, that is an absolutely huge cost savings for us. I would love to switch to a higher quality food at some point, but at this point, it's just not in the budget. But if we're able to continue fermenting food, they're only eating half as much as they typically would be, then it definitely could be an option for us in the future. You can ferment pretty much any chicken food. You can do chick starter, layer pellets, layer crumbles. Um, I've seen a lot of people ferment their scratch grains as well. So whatever kind of food you're using to feed your chickens, you can probably ferment it, and it just takes the food and water and a little bit of time. So it is a very simple process once you get into the routine. There's a few different ways to ferment your chicken food. We have a family member who uses a 1 bucket system, so they just kind of always take food out, add food in, and it's just kind of a constant cycle. We have decided to do, I say we, it's just me. My husband is fully supportive of this, but it's pretty much just me coming up with these crazy ideas of things we should try. Um, I have decided to do a 3 container method, which has been working really, really well for us. So I have 3 of the exact same container. And when I first decided to start fermenting food, I took my first container, added 4.5 cups of food, filled it with water, stirred it around, and let it sit. The next morning, I took my second container, same thing, food, water, stir it around, let it sit. Third day, third container, food, water, stirred around, let it sit there. On that fourth morning, our first batch was ready to feed to the girls. So I fed them that batch of food and then went right back inside, added the chicken food out of the water, stirred it around, and let it sit. And then we just kind of like worked through that system ever since then.
So for my visual people, you just take the container, add the food. I'm doing 4.5 cups. Then you add some water, just fill it up a little bit more than you think you would need to because the pellets do absorb quite a bit of water. Again, you do not want your pellets to come out of the water. That's when they can start to mold. So just make sure you add plenty of water that it will fully submerge all of the food. Give it a good stir. Then you're just going to set it to the side and let it ferment. I did put lids on top of mine, but I didn't screw them on. I just kind of set them on top so it would still allow some airflow. Then, when it's fully fermented, you can see all these really cool bubbles, which I think is just the coolest thing. You can see them popping on the top, and you can also kind of see them through the food on the side. I just think it's so cool. I strained off a little bit of the water and then just poured it right into a container for the chickens to enjoy.
This is our chicken coop behind us. So our girls do spend a lot of time in there, but then every morning I do come out, let them out of the chicken coop. Hi, baby. I don't know if you can hear her, but she is very excited to be part of this video today. Um, we have a chicken coop and they are in there sometimes, but I also take them out to the tractor most mornings. So it's just kind of been an easy thing to add to our routine of I let them out of their coop, they go to their chicken tractor, which is somewhere around our property or garden. They walk right in, I pour their fermented food into their bowl, and then they're just out there for the day. I was concerned before I started fermenting our food just because there's some horror stories about people like killing their entire flock of chickens because they let the food ferment too long, it got moldy, etc. But as long as your food, the fermented food kind of smells a little sour. I don't know if you make sourdough or sauerkraut or yogurt or any of the fermented foods, they kind of have like that fermented tang smell to it, and that's an okay thing to smell as long as it doesn't smell rancid, as long as you don't see mold, anything like that. Obviously, then you should not be feeding it to your birds. But it definitely has that like that tangy fermented smell to it. From what I was reading online, as long as you keep your chicken food below the water line, it shouldn't grow mold in the 3 or 4 days that it will be fermenting. So I know the very first day that I tried fermenting food, I didn't add nearly enough water. So the pellets absorbed all the water, and then it just kind of like there was no water left in the container. So potentially that could have started molding if I let it go for too long, but I just added some more water, which raised the water level, kept all the food beneath that. And obviously, we have not had any issues with mold in the couple weeks that we have been doing this. So as long as you keep an eye on it and just don't do anything too crazy, it should not hurt your birds. But again, make sure it doesn't smell rancid, have any mold or anything, but otherwise you should be good to go. We've been doing this for about 2 weeks and I haven't noticed really any change in our birds, which I think is a good thing. Their egg production has stayed the same. They look the same, act the same, so they're just eating half as much food, which I think is awesome. So all things considered, fermenting your chicken food has been a really simple thing that we've added to our routine, and I highly encourage you to look into it and see if you want to do it for your flock. I know money is tight for a lot of people right now, and if this is kind of an easy way for you to save a little bit of cash, then maybe it could be a good fit for you and your flock. Thank you for joining me for today's video. Let me know if you ferment your food, if you have any tips and tricks, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.